Okay, so we're going to start off in the morning by very simply throwing your meat and your veggies and all your goodness spices into the crock pot and forgetting about it for the day. In here we have 1 onion cut into quarters. We have a stalk of celery with the leaves. Remember, you want this for the flavor. And some carrots just chopped up. We're going to throw in a clove of smashed garlic. We're going to throw in our spices. Our spices are chili powder, about a tablespoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of white pepper. You can use regular pepper if you don't have the white pepper, but I like the flavor of the white pepper. A teaspoon of salt, about a teaspoon of cumin. Remember, that's where you get your spice. So if your family doesn't like spice, then definitely don't go with the spice. Push it down to like a teaspoon. We're going to go with 1 clove of crushed garlic and some salt, about a teaspoon. Again, that's to your taste. And I like to add extra garlic to mine because my husband and I are just garlic lovers. So once you get all this done, you're going to go over to your meat. Now this is what I love about making these tamales. You can use the cheap cuts of meat. Most people use pork. We did pork last time and my husband asked if we would do beef. So you're just going to throw that on top. And I actually got 2. I got both of these cuts of meat for right around $5. So not only is it going to be a tasty meal, it's going to be one that's also pretty cheap for you to make for your family, because you will not believe how much you get out of just this one little pot. So we're going to pour some water over this, and we're going to add a bay leaf to it first. We're going to pour some water over it, and then we are going to let it simmer on high for about 6 hours, and we'll come back to it later. Have a good day. Guys, okay, so we've walked in the door. It's been about 6 hours. Here's what our meat's looking like. Yummy, yummy. And I have started to soak my ancho chilies. Those you got in your tamale pack, they're the dried chilies. You can kind of shake them, but we're going to soak those for about a half hour. That's going to become part of our sauce. And we also took our dried corn husks and we're soaking those in a bowl of warm water. We want to soak those for at least an hour so they're nice and pliable and they don't tear when we spread our masa on it. So this is where we're at so far. See you in half an hour. Hey guys, okay, now on to step 3. What we're going to do right now is make the salsa de chile rojo, which basically is basic red sauce. That's all it is. We're going to take the ancho chilies, which we have softened, deveined, seeded, and chopped up. It doesn't matter how big your pieces are because you're going to end up putting this in the blender anyway. And you're going to have your water that the chilies were soaking in, and that is going to be strained so you get all the seeds out. You have a tablespoon of cumin, a tablespoon of oregano, and a teaspoon of salt for your spices. You have a medium onion and 2 garlic cloves chopped up. Again, it doesn't matter. You're going to put this through the blender, so don't stress about your sizes. And you're going to have an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Now, what I've done is I have put 1/4 of a cup of, you can either use vegetable oil or you can use Bountiful Baskets coconut oil, unscented, and simply throw in your onions and your garlic and soften those up a little bit. Now you might think this is all really complicated and oh, it's going to take me all day long. It's not. I guarantee. You're just going to do your little prep in the morning, and then when you get home in the evening, all you have to do is throw it all together. Again, it's easy, but if you want to do it on a weekend and you want to put them in the fridge for a couple days, you can do that, or you can even freeze them, which we do a lot in this house because there's only 2 of us and we're not making big, huge batches. Oh, that smells so good. Okay. So we're just going to let that soften up for a bit. while that's softening, we're going to stir in our spices. We're going to stir in our chilies. Oops. And let all those flavors just blend together. Now this is something you don't want to skimp on the cumin on, because yeah, it gives it some heat, but if the kids don't like hot, you don't need to put it on there. Or if you don't like hot, you just don't need to put it on there, but it really adds a great texture and taste to the sauce. We're going to stir in our 8 ounces of tomato sauce. And then we're going to stir in our 3.5 cups of water. So we're going to get all of that all together, nice and bubbly, and then we're going to simmer it for 20 minutes. So I will see you soon. Bye. We have our red sauce boiling right now, still simmering. We've taken our meat out of the crock pot. We've shredded it, taken away all the onions and celery and everything that was in there, and I saved my stock so I can make a tortilla soup later on whenever. I usually just throw it in the freezer. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our corn husk, get that off of there, and then this is just a rice paddle that I use. You don't need to spend fancy money. You can use the back of a big spoon, or you can go to the dollar store and get a rice paddle. And you just take and you just spread it on all the way to the end. And you want to get it about 1/4 of an inch thick. Then you're going to take your meat, stick it right up there. Use your hands. A little more meat. Now this is a stage where you can put cheese, you can put green chilies, you can put just plain cheese, anything that you and your family like. So you're going to take it, you're going to fold it over, you're going to bring the end up, and then you're going to bring the other end and fold it over again. Turn it upside down, and there you go. You don't have to tie anything. And we're going to finish these up, and then we'll come back on how to make them, and that'll be that. Okay guys, literally 20 minutes later, I am done, and I have a pan full of tamales that are wrapped up. I have my steamer out, and I have my, oh, that's my stock. I have my red sauce in the blender. Now, I cannot caution you enough, if it's still really hot like mine is, let it cool off a little while and let the top of it vent, or else it is going to blow up and splatter all over you. I know that from experience. So I'm just going to take my tamales into, those are my vegetarian ones, into my steamer. And you notice I'm putting them up on their sides because I want the steam. If you don't have a steamer, it's fine. Just use some boiling water and a steamer that you have on top. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to steam that for 30 to 40 minutes. And we'll be back after that. Easy. Thanks. Okay, the tamales are done. I let mine steam for 40 minutes, right around 40 minutes. I want to mention too that if you're going to use a steamer with boiling water, make sure that you have the open ends up, because if you do that, then all your masa and filling won't fall out into the water. And for some reason, here, my husband's going to hold this because I can't do this with one hand. Just take your masa with a knife. It's going to flip right on out for you. I don't know why mine fell apart today. They usually don't. But. And then you're going to take your basic red sauce and just sprinkle. That's what it looks like after it's blended. It's a nice, thick, spicy sauce. And finally, you're going to finish it with some Jack and cheddar cheese. And voila! I like to serve this, I guess that would be French, wouldn't it? I like to serve this with some watermelon slices because it kind of, the hot and the sweet, it kind of offsets each other. Or you can just serve it with a nice green salad, or you can just serve it by itself, which is the way my husband prefers it. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next BB pack.